the Giants, who I've been very critical of, they still managed to make the playoffs last year, despite the fact that they were not that great on paper. I mean, their
Yeah.
weapons are still terrible, but to pivot to the Giants, their big offseason moves were re-signing Daniel Jones to the most ludicrous contract I've ever seen in NFL history. Ever?
Ever.
Ever maybe? I mean, 4 years, 160 million. And I know what I'm going to hear next is, oh, look at the contracts. You don't know nothing about football. Oh man, the contract, they can get out of it easily. Well, it's the principle, the fact that you're giving a quarterback who is in the bottom 10 percentile that much money potentially is ludicrous.
Yeah.
And then you tag Saquon Barkley. You re-signed Darius Slayton. You signed Bobby Okereke. I actually like that signing a lot. This is a nice linebacker.
Personal friend.
Darren Waller. They traded him for a third-round pick. All right, that's cool. Paris Campbell, Jamison Crowder. They got receivers that are. They signed 2 4 receivers. That's great. Maybe if you put 4 and 4 together, you get 8. I don't know. What's that like? Didn't lose much on the team, but they have a high first-round pick, 25th overall. But for me, it's like,
that's not high.
I think this year was very fluky. I mean, 9, what were they? 9, 7, and 1.
Yeah.
Because they had the tie. And then you saw them get exposed against the Eagles. Granted, the Eagles were very good, but their number one weapon is still Darius Slayton for me. Darius Slayton to me would be a okay third. He'd be a good third, I guess. But like Darren Waller, okay. Darren Waller, if he's the old Darren Waller, sure. That's nice. He's a nice tight end. He'll be nice for him. Daniel Jones will like him. And luckily, he's going to be throwing a lot of in routes, so he can actually throw it to him. So that'll be good.
Or out routes.
Yeah, or out routes, or,
as long as it's 5 yards.
Yeah, as long as it's 5 yards or more, or 5 yards or less.
Darius Slayton is like the Patriots' best receiver being Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, that's a great comparison. Because, I mean, is he good? Yeah, he's good. Jacoby Myers is good. Yeah, he's good. Is he as good as, I don't know, just in that division, is he good as A.J. Brown? No. Is he as good as CeeDee Lamb? No. Is he good as Terry McLaurin? No. All right, let's go to the next receiver. Is he as good as Devontae Smith? No. Is he as good as Brandon Cooks? No. Is he as good as Jahan Dotson? No. All right, that's 6 right there. And I could go on, but
is he as good as Michael Gallup? Probably not.
I mean, it's like, but that's your one. And then you have Paris Campbell. Okay, he was fine with the Colts. He was fine with the Eagles, whatever. Jamison Crowder. What did he do in Tampa Bay last year? Does anybody know he even played in Tampa Bay last year?
Yeah.
I mean, I remember him on the Jets when they had the number one receiver as Jamison Crowder, and they had nobody. That was before they had Garrett Wilson and Elijah Moore.
Yeah, comment below. Did you know? Be honest. Did you know that Jamison Crowder was on the Bucs last year because they needed help? They only had Mike Evans. Chris Godwin's forgot how to play football last year. Leonard Fournette came in like A-Train and the boys. Tom Brady had to go Homelander on him, tell him to cut out the Shake Shack, get back in shape, and he never did. And then Darren Waller is someone who just got a bag and sat on it and has kind of been complacent, and he's been pretty disappointing the past few years because the Raiders were dynamic with him. He's had some injury issues the past 3 years, and then I even talked to my friend who's a smart Giants fan. I'm like, hey, we talk about the Giants a lot, and we're like, Daniel Jones, not it. Am I right there? Like, as a Giants fan, you would rather have Lamar Jackson than Daniel Jones? He's like, obviously, you'd rather have Lamar Jackson than Daniel Jones, especially when you're giving out $40 million a year. Just guarantee that you have Lamar Jackson on your team next year. And then we're bringing in Darren Waller as our weapon. Like, do you like that? He's like, no, that's the guy that's got paid and then kind of sat on it and was complacent and has been perpetually hurt. So I'm like, okay, talking to a real Giants fan here. No, it's not Micah Rappaport. And then it's like, I like Brian Daboll, but it's like, how much can Brian Daboll really do? Because Daniel Jones isn't going to get better. It's like you beat the Vikings last year, but barely. And the Vikings can't play defense. Like, I don't know how many times we need to stretch this, but like the Giants defense was comparable, stopping people. Kayvon Thibodeau was an absolute monster. And I respect the hell out of him last year and their defense, but it's like, your offense still isn't going to get it done. And there's plenty of other better offenses that can score on your defense that aren't led by Kirk Cousins. And oh, yeah, you got to the second round and got demolished. Like, this wasn't like Eagles Bucks last year or the 2 years ago where the Eagles kind of got stomped out by the Bucks. Like, no, this was a beatdown where we were watching this game and I look up and like, oh, Eagles got a touchdown. That's cool. And then I look up like, oh, Eagles got 2 more touchdowns. It's like you blinked and the Eagles would score points. And every time you blinked, Daniel Jones was falling backwards. This is a guy who can't run and stand up at the same time. That's how bad Daniel Jones is. Wide open touchdown, 80 yards down the field, trips on his shoe. Like, come on. This guy can't run or stand up. He can't do 2 things at once. It's like, you bet your future on this guy. You weren't even planning on giving him the 550 option. That's how bad he's been. That's how low the Giants saw of him. They're like, oh, we didn't know he'd be this okay.
My problem with Daniel Jones and the Giants and the signing and just the play style, if you're watching tape on the Giants, your tape on the Giants is saying, okay, if Daniel Jones doesn't see an open receiver within 2 reads, he runs. Okay. So you know what you do? You cover that because you know that's what's going to happen. And you also know, well, I don't have to throw it. I don't really have to defend the deep ball because they don't throw the deep ball. They don't. They threw 21 deep balls in 18 games if you count the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, they're not going to throw it deep. And if it's not open, they're going to run. Okay. Crowd the box. There you go. That's the Giants offense. They won 8 of their 9 games by 1 score. They were 8-1 in 1-score games. So you're telling me, let's say, because you know the NFL changes every year, let's say they're 4-4. You know what their record is at that point? Their record at that point is 5-12. 5-12. Congratulations. 5-12. You're paying your quarterback $4 million a touchdown. That's fantastic. I'm sure you love that. So no, I have no faith in the Giants. I think the Giants, they don't have any weapons. I mean, I think they should have paid Saquon before they paid Daniel Jones. Maybe they should have given Daniel Jones a Geno Smith level contract. I wouldn't have hated that as much. But they didn't. They gave him a bag, and now they're going to regret it, and the Giants are stupid. They deserve it.
Russ still had more touchdowns.